Yeah, it's this one. I know.
It should be.
Okay, can you send the link?
Yes. Can you guys all raise hands?
Yeah, I'm sending it to you. Yes. You have put it on your channel.
Okay, hi guys. So, welcome to NA Turku for this autumn. I will introduce ourselves, but first of all, we want the ESN Finland president to open this meeting.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for being present. Thank you for coming. Maxim just arrived like 2 a.m. this morning, and wow, thank you for being here with us.
10 hours of driving, but I'm here at the end of the day.
Dedication, yes. So welcome everybody to National Assembly, Posankka, and I know that a lot of people are your first NA, and of course some people are kind of like regular with the NA already, but anyway, this is the good platform to get everybody to understand more of ESN Finland, both bureaucracy, friendship, networking. This is a good opportunity for you to educate yourself what this network is all about. And well, thank you, chairing team, first of all, Prashani, our head of the chair team, Babu from ESN Basel. We have international guests, amazing, and Michaela from ESN Denmark. Yes, so please welcome them. Yes, and I know that today is going to be a lot of heavy stuff, agenda that needs your decision tomorrow. So this is the information day, and feel free to raise your hand, or what is the rule? She's going to explain the rules.
I will
later.
explain the rules.
Yes, but the thing that we need to make all this agenda kind of packed, because this is National Assembly, and you have the power to make decision. NB, we are just working for you, and you are the one who holds the power that lead us, direct us what to do. So please pay attention, because otherwise we're gonna be like kind of the headless chicken. So thank you so much for your attention, and I'm gonna pass it on to Prashant.
Yeah, so hi guys.
Stay in front of the camera.
Okay, sure.
Don't step on the cable.
So I will quickly introduce some rules if it's the first time you're in NA or if you have not been to kind of a national event before. So as you already saw, you saw me raise my hand like this, which means it's for silence and you should not speak. And if someone wants to show appreciation, please don't clap. We have a ESN expression where we show we show appreciation like this. And if you have a question, you can raise your hand during Q&A. If you have a reaction, you can raise 2 fingers, and if you have a procedural comment, you can raise 1 finger. I hope that's pretty clear for everyone. And please try your best to follow these rules, and we will have a very lovely day. And in terms of the overall NA, please be respectful to each other. Even when you're asking questions from the presenters, make sure it's a productive conversation, and make sure it's time restricted, because we have lots of timing during NA, so everyone can answer questions. And of course, you should know that the chairing team, if we feel that the question you are asking is irrelevant, we will not accept it. If you feel some unsafe situation, you can always feel free to contact us. And you have the standing orders and the code of conduct in ESN Finland website, for example, so you can go through all of them. And you should already have the links to all the documents that you will have today. Yes, so when we are in the Q&A session and when you're speaking, I have already sent a Telegram chat saying the speakers list, which is going to be open in every Q&A, and you can write your name and question because it's easier for our vice chair to write the questions in the minutes rather than us having to speak the question out, so then it's easier for him. And please state your name and section when you are asking a question, and please wait for us to call your name when you want to ask a question from the presenters. And one question at a time per person, so if you have a question again because of the question that you asked, you have to come to the speakers list again. If you have a reaction, of course you can give, but you cannot ask 2 or 3 questions at a time because we need to give time for other people also to ask questions. I hope that's clear. Yeah, so quick introduction. I'm Prashani. I'm going to be the chair for this NA. I've been in the chairing team in previous NAs, and I think I've been in multiple NAs before. I was the president of ESN Obo Academy in 2022-2023, and then I joined the national board last year, and my mandate ended in the end of May. And now I'm currently the volunteer team lead for POBs. And yeah, that's it. I love baking. That's my stress release, that I bake for my friends, which some of you saw yesterday. But yes, Barbu.
Yes. Should I go like in front of the camera?
Whichever way.
Okay, I'm just gonna go really quick. I'm Barbu. I'm an international guest. I'm the president of ESN Basel in Switzerland. I'm not from ESN Switzerland, but I always put Basel, Switzerland to explain where Basel is. I study at the University of Zurich. I'm 22, and people always tell me that I look older, which is still a compliment, but I feel like in a few years it might not. I get very competitive with Kahoots, and I don't like the taste of the sea, which means any kind of fish or like algae or sushi and stuff. And I'm from Romania originally. Yes, thank you.
I'm Michela. I'm from ESN-DTU. I'm doing a master's there. And yeah, I'm mixing courses because I cannot choose what I like. I like Christmas. It's my favorite time of the year. I think that's also because like I come from Italy and my region is like really like the Christmas place, I would say. And fun fact, while I was applying for universities abroad, my first choice was DTU, but the second one was Turku, so it's also why I applied for being the chair here. And I am the treasurer in ESN-DTU and also the main responsible for trips. And I started to be part of ESN through ESN Buddy in Italy, and that's how I learned English actually.
Okay. So we are going to have the quorum check now. Please only the vote delegate of your section say yes if you are present. I mean, there's no if you're not present, because then you're not here. So I will call your name and you can say that you're present. So Vatsal from ESN Alto. Such a lovely day. Rita from ESN Fint. Alexandra Hagahelia. Yes. Joshua from your Scholar.
Yes, and good morning.
Good morning. Laura.
Yes. Which Laura?
Laura from ESN Kisa.
Yes.
Yasmin from Lahati. Ahmed from Lapenranta. Annette from Laureamco. Angela from Metropolia. Emma from Uni Helsinki. And Emma, again, you will be for ESN Oulu as well. Lucas from Uni Turku. ESN Vasa. Kim from ESN Obo Academy. So basically, how I should also explain to you how the votings are going to work. Generally, how the votings will work is we need to have 50% plus 1, so that's simple majority. So we have more than simple majority, so the quorum check passes. Yes?
Sorry, our name wasn't said.
Yeah, so for the quorum check only we need the names of the vote delegates.
Yeah, no, I'm the board delegate, so.
I think you skipped it
Oh, okay. Laura.
Yes.
Yes.
because there were 2 Lauras.
Sorry, my bad. So the quorum check passes, and now we have to elect scrutinizers. So basically, scrutinizers are the ones who is going to check the minutes of the National Assembly and also for the votings that are going to happen tomorrow to make sure everything is objective, clear, and everything is done in the correct way. And for this, we need from you 2 people who are going to be scrutinizers, but you cannot be a vote delegate. So anyone who is not a vote delegate can raise your hand and we can add you as a scrutinizer. So I open the scrutinizers, let's say, I don't know, call application. So please let me know. I'll give you like 30 seconds and then I'll just randomly call a name.
You have the list of people.
I'm Alex Kalima from West.
Alex Caliola.
Thank you, Alex. And one more, please. Yannick. Oh, yeah, please.
Sophia Santos, yes, I only Helsinki.
Okay. So just to make it a little bit fast, the vote delegates, you are the only ones who gets the opportunity to vote. So rather than me going through all the yeses and nos, I will tell you to raise your hand if you have any objections for voting these scrutinizers, and if you have any objections, you can. So do you have any objections for voting for Alex, Kalioma, and Sophia, who are going to be scrutinizers for NA Autumn Posankka 2024? So the vote passes with no objections. And also, you have a chance to object if you have any questions regarding the agenda, and also the vote delegates and the NB has a chance to change the agenda now if they want to. So if you have any amendments, you can tell me now. If not, I will ask to vote for the agenda of this NA. No? Okay. So do you have any objections for the agenda of this NA?
Agenda you can find in the
Yeah. So the agenda passes with no objections. Of course. You can also object if you have anything against us lovely people here. So do you have any objections against this chairing team? No. Okay, no objections, so the chairing team passes as well, the vote for the chairing team. Okay, so now we are going to kind of officially start with the presentations, and the first to go is our updates from the National Board.
Can I invite all the current national board here? Thank you.
yeah, I can stay. We can try to go here so we're in the live stream.
So these are the faces
I
of
will
the
tell you.
national board.
Can we move it? Shall we set up? I can't see. Okay, it's a Word document.
Word.
Yeah. Okay, we can start. I can go like this.
It's sent in PDF.
It's coming in Word.
Yeah, there's another one.
It's that I opened that one. So it's okay.
So welcome for our national board updates. You will get to know what we've been up to since we started our mandate on the 1st of June. Next. I think the formatting is completely off.
What do I want
to show this one?
Can't we have the PDF?
Yeah.
I can download it.
One second, the proper format is coming. Yeah, it's better. Okay, so what have we been up to? So first of all, we wanted to kind of show you again this amazing organizational chart we've done so that you can try to kind of understand who's going to talk today, because it's a bit confusing. National coordinators, national board, arbitration board. So we tried to make this like a bit more clear that you as the local section constitute the NA. You have elected us, the national board, at the spring and extraordinary NAs. You also will elect later today the arbitration board, or tomorrow, and operations inspectors. But we also have selected national coordinators that will help us do what we want, and the national events committee and committee. So just to kind of replace in the context, like who's going to talk today. But yeah. A little bit about the sections update since last June. So there is a new name and new structure for ESN Hagahelia and also ESN Laureamco. So yes, Hagahelia became registered independent university section, and now and ESN Laurea came into Laureamco student union. Unfortunately, former ESN Joensuu, Jace, have decided to withdraw from the network in Finland, and they're operating as part of their student union now, and also without ESN. And ESN Lahti is operating in full swing, and everything is going amazing. So currently we have 15 sections. So now about the MB's update in general, that's us. We had 17 board meetings so far since June. They're about sometimes an hour, but most likely 2 hours or sometimes 3. Unfortunately, our treasurer Aurora resigns on the 29th of August, and we already had an open call for treasurer, but we're gonna have another one soon. So please think about that. And we had a great knowledge transfer sessions with previous boards, so that was really amazing. And we met all together in Prague for community meetings in September. So it was really nice that we could all be there. Now we'll give the floor to Tana.
Thank you, Elia. She's been my great help. And let me describe to you what I did in the past 4 months with all this team with me. So time-wise, I spent on the average 8.5 hours per week. From the range of like 2 hours per week to 20 hours per week. That's a lot of like workloads, considering this is like volunteer job. And well, you can go next. Thank you. And the task that I've been doing, I created these word clowns out of the board meeting minutes, and particularly like I've been doing 35 tasks per month on the average. Like it's basically, you can kind of consider that it's like every day there's an issue, every day there's a task that I have to do. And well, the frequency would be like a lot of meetings, a lot of ordering, especially like since we don't have treasurer anymore, and a lot of documentations for section, for example. So that's the thing that I've been doing for the past 4 months. Thank you. And logistically, I travel 10,900 kilometers in the past 4 months. I really miss my home, honestly. But there's events that I have participated with the international events, like community meeting. I went to TEED with some of you, education community in Brussels, at Neptalin, like recently, like some of you already there too. I met with partners, I visited sections, I met with ESN Metropolia, Hakahelia, Obo Academy, Uni Turku, Aalto, Lapland, and visited the headquarters in Brussels, and also ESN Taaltech during NEP. That's it.
That's me. My love for ESN branding here. So some events and meetings so far. So the NA June Online was only 10 days into my mandate. That was really rough, to be honest, but that worked. Also, I attended the General Assembly August Online. I was like the representative from Finland. I organized the newbies webinar, and you can watch it actually if you scan like the little things I put around everywhere. It's in the guide and manual of our shared ESN sections drive. You can watch the newbies webinar, and you can make your newbies watch it as well. We had a knowledge transfer session with ESN Fins. It was really nice. And then a lot of calls, like we have NEP calls, NOS call, HRN calls, one-on-one HRN call. HRN is HR and network community. Then we also had the HRN community meetings in Prague, and I was also an assistant at the EAIE conference. It's a big conference on the internationalization of education. I was just working for free there basically, but it was still a good time. I went to the ECEM training and conference in Brussels. I will show you some pictures about it and what it was. NEP, of course, and I just returned from the Time Travels Iceland trip, and it was really nice. Then some tasks. So I updated our legal documents because we realized that the standing orders were not updated since the amendments. I also helped in the national coordinators recruitment. I set up the general chat that we're using a lot now. I'm trying that all the information goes smoother with everyone. I created the wonderful organizational chart we saw earlier. I also updated our wiki page. I coordinated this whole NA with the OC, NTC, NCs, and CT. I gave a lot of help to local sections. At least I hope I was helpful. I tried, at least, and advised. I opened calls for national coordinators, arbitration board, operations inspectors, treasurers, etc. A lot of bureaucracy and probably a lot of other things that I forgot about. And now some pictures. So this is with Tana and Alex in Brussels for ECM and EDUCA. Then that's just a vocals we had in practice. The ECM training, it was about how international students and exchange students can impact the local community when they come on exchange. The extraordinary GA, the volunteering at EAIE, the network, HR network community, Iceland trip, it was like the most windy I've ever experienced, and some EAIE slides. Yes, that's it.
So
Henna is not there. I can do for Henna. So that's next. So Henna is currently in Vietnam. So that's a picture of her Vietnam trip. But yeah, she also went to a board meeting. We have a lot of the same HR network community meetings together. She's also delegation leader for EGM, and that's already a lot of work because there are a lot of preparation that goes into this. She also organized with me the newbies webinar, some section visits and planning, also national coordinator orientation, some interviews also for NCs, some presentation, also NEP and community meeting and TEAT and more things.
Hi everyone, it's nice to nice to see new faces and old faces. So yeah, I'm the event manager. And next. Okay. Yeah. So my general duties, like everyone else, is attending community meetings. So my community in the ESN International is training and activities. And I previously attended to Moldova, and then this time I went to Prague, and also our VC for Hobbs also attended, and we got nice a lot of knowledge from ESN International. And then my other duties are also like NEP, attending NEP, and also having the communications between the OC of NA and also making open calls for the NA. And next one. Okay. So this is my the main responsibility, I would say. So NEVCO, it's a support structure of ESN Finland, and we organize national events and also international events. So. So main duties, one of them are like finding partners for the pubs and also overseeing or supervising the pubs. And then the INET, it's an internal events committee. So through events we organize also several events, and this time we partner with several other ESN NOS like Denmark, Norway for environmental project. And also we have also planned to have a Fin site. So it's the ESN Finland National Training Event. So these were during the COVID time. It was shut down, but then I restarted it with the help of the ESN Finland previous board and the current board. And also this time we also gonna start the National Erasmus Games. At least we are planning. And I have a full team of 15 people, and also I have a great help from my vice chair. So yeah, so there's a lot of work being done, and we will be presenting more about NEVCO in the next. We have another we have another session, so we will be presenting, and you can ask questions about it. But thank you.
Yes, thank you. A little bit about my work. So I'm Juuso, communications manager, and we can move on to the next slide, please. And here's some of my key work so far, or at least the ones that I could remember. So a lot of social media content, of course. Then I have this thesis project that I will mention just in a few moments. Then I did an open call for the communication committee and also tried to develop that whole structure a little bit further. Then the Iceland trip promotion and materials that you also probably have seen and received earlier. Then some POPs communications, workshop here today actually in this NA, and here are also some of the events and meetings I've attended. So the communication manager community calls occasionally taking place online, then TEET in August, and then community meetings in Prague and NEP Tallinn as well, and now this NA of course. And then I wanted to also mention closely about a few other topics. So communication committee has had a rebranding, so it has a new cute logo, more similar to the NEVCO one. Then also new tools and the general guideline and structure update, which is coming soon. Then we have Joshua as the vice chair since June actually, but decided in May. Then the open call in June to August, which gave us 5 new candidate members whom you can see there on the right side. Then we are also supporting POPs, communications and media together. So we have 2 candidate members from Confi in the media team actually, and then Joshua and Jan is working on POPs. Then we are still currently trying to develop the structure and workflow after it gets a little bit less busy with POPs. And yeah, we can move on. Then about this thesis project that I mentioned, it's a social media guide. Maybe you've heard of it before. I have sent a few emails about it. But basically it's going to be a guide made for you as local sections in case you are in need of support with social media and anything related to that. It's a very hands-on and comprehensive guide, and hopefully it's helpful. And it should be ready and available by 2025, so still this year, and it will keep updating. Thank you, and we can move on. Then I wanted to also mention POPs communications, because I was transferred to be the team lead for communications, and it has taken a lot of my time, so I just wanted to highlight it also. So key responsibility is scheduling, content planning and creation, graphic design, social media management, and task division, and also the team human resources. Then I also upgraded slightly the visual look of POPs this time, maybe you've noticed. And I wanted to pay closer attention to the section materials and guidance, so to make it more clear to the sections and the possible new people working with POPs promotion. And yeah, a lot of learning, because I have even never been to POPs myself, so But as you can see here, this is the reach of our social media promotion on Instagram. So it has been going over 500,000 views and over 161,000 accounts reached. So that's pretty good, I would say. And here's a funny meme, maybe you know this one, but this is me because for the past few weeks and probably for the couple of upcoming weeks, I've been working a lot for ESN Finland in many instances, and I think on average it's 15 to 30 hours a week, so this is fine. Thank you.
Okay, hello everybody, I'm Max, I'm WK. So the next slide please, and as administrator of any system, your work is just about fixing everything. And when you finish fixing, something broke up, so you should start it over. But some real work, except help, assistance to the national board, to the support structures, and to the local sections. Also feel free to reach out to me if you need any help with your website, with your like some IT tools or whatever. If you can go for the next slide, please. Thank you. What I did, I managed all the domains in a proper way. You might see in our new website, and we did with the POPs team separate domain for their website and their emails and so on. So we more separated POPs and ESN Finland, which is good. Of course, management of email system and weekly board meetings. The next one. So about the community, we had a community meeting in Prague. I also lived there. I work with International IT Committee. We launched recently an IT team. It's still in progress. I need to manage some stuff, but soon you will see information about it. Oh, and again, weekly board meetings on Mondays, of course. And the next one, please. And support. So as I said, support for national, support for organizations, and for local sections. If you have any problems, this is the QR. I will also put the link in WPA group chat. This is something new and important because I want to create a database of frequently asked questions about some IT tools, some problems, some troubleshooting. And that's why I want to go through this bot, which will automatically record the question and answer. So in this way, we can make this database. And that's it. Thank you all.
Thank you. So now is the question and answer session for 5 minutes.
Thank you so much, Envy. So now the speakers list is open to everybody. You have the link in the Telegram chat. I can send it to you again, but please write your name and the question. And if you can't write it, please raise your hand and I will add you to the speakers list. But please make sure somehow your name is there, because I would love for our vice chair to not be typing 1,000 words every second, so it's easier for him.
Names.
Oh yes, and your names will be difficult too. So I'll give you a minute and then we'll close the speakers list, but before that I will ask if still anyone wants to have any questions.
So they should write in the Excel in the Google Sheets.
Yes, so you have speakers list and now it should be open.
They should put their name and
Name and questions.
Window in here?
yeah.
Sure. But wait.
I don't know how this works, but I don't know.
You can't add your name?
Is it blocked from, yeah. You cannot edit it. I'm gonna change it now.
But I can edit it.
Yeah, because you're sharing.
No, but I'm not as the chairing team. This is a test run, let's say that.
Try refresh.
Can you try it now? Anyone can edit it. It works. Yay. Excel.
Can you please put your name and ESN section?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
you can put your name / your section and your question there.
Yes.
I wrote down the time. Yeah, we finished early.
I think there also still there questions allowed or
Yeah,
this.
Yes, 10 minutes. Okay, it's fine. But we can give them 10 because they are early. Nobody has any questions? So we have only one question. Any other persons with questions? Really? Okay, so then can I close the speakers list? Is there anyone else who wants to ask a question from the National Board? It can be anything from something you think is like funny and about their time or something about their hobbies, but like as long as it's a productive question, it's fine. So, no one? Okay, so I close the speakers list. And Joshua, you can now ask your question.
Yeah, so of course you mentioned that the treasurer has resigned. I think I don't remember when, my brain is foggy, but of course throughout these months, someone has to be doing something about being the treasury sort of person. So over the past couple months, how has that been handled on the National Board?
My answer is that I'm doing the responsibility, taking care of the treasury part, because even we have a treasurer, we have only like just me and this treasurer to do the accounting, have access legally to the bank account, and as of now, I'm the one who like managing all the invoices, payments, and even like issuing invoice supposed to be like sending out to you, but I don't like really have time to focus on that yet. And also like consultation about the financial matters with the sections. Yeah, it's pretty much up to me. But like at the same time, I just share my access with the whole bank account for viewing, for inspecting with vice president. So yeah, that has been taken care of slowly until we have the new treasurer.
Okay, then thank you so much. NB, thank you very much. And I just got a message from the AB saying that we need a person for code of contact person, which is basically somebody who, if someone feels unsafe, I guess, maybe actually Tony can say it, what COC is. Yeah, you have your the next presentation is yours. Thank you, NB. Do we need to appoint him as soon as possible? And does it need to be a vote?
No, it's just appointed by the MP/CT, so
Okay.
you can kind of decide among yourselves as well. It can be anyone.
Okay, then it's Elia. Do I have to
And you need
announce it?
to.
Okay, do I need to announce it?
Yes, so maybe we can show the.
Yeah, we can go and say something.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry about
perhaps,
that.
no, that's okay. I also didn't realize it. Daniel actually pointed it out to me.
Okay.
But yeah, a brief introduction of code of conduct would be in order as well.
Could you do it?
Sure. Can you open the website with the code of conduct document? That would be probably easiest.
And also through the links,
yeah, I have it.
if they scan, also you can say, if they scan this very first link, they can also find it.
Okay, I can put it here.
Okay, everyone, quick 1 minute recap about the code of conduct. Today, for this NA, the contact person for COC will be Elia and Isabella, if you can stand and just show your face. And Tony will quickly give us a short recap on the COC.
Yes, my introduction is still due coming, but I'm from the arbitration board. So I will just briefly explain what code of conduct is about. So basically it's trying to create a safe space for everyone to feel welcome and not discriminated or anything like that. So if you, at any point during this event, if you feel that someone is harassing you or you feel very uncomfortable otherwise, then we have code of conduct in place for this. It's a document, you can read it at some point. We have attached around some QR codes for Yes and Finland's documents.
So on the very first link of this thing that has been laying around, like if you scan the very first thing, it's a link to our drive, and you can find the code of conduct there.
Yes. Yeah. So
also on the website.
Exactly. Yesinfinland.eu. Yeah. So if at any point you feel uncomfortable, you can always approach Isabella or Elia. And if you feel uncomfortable approaching them, you can always approach the chairing team as well, or on the website there is a link to submit also, if needed, anonymously a report as well. But let's hope that everyone has a good time here and no funky business, so that none of that would be needed.
Okay, thank you so much, Tony. And now he will also be presenting you the arbitration board updates. The floor is yours.
Yes. Okay, so now more properly. So I'm Tony. I'm from the arbitration board. Actually, this hoodie is a bit of an old hoodie. It says president, but on the back side you can see, I don't know which year it is. It's probably 5 years ago, so I've been in ESN quite a long time. Yes, next slide. So first, to show a little bit who the arbitration board is. So we are 3 people in the arbitration board. That's me in the middle. I lost a bit of hair. It was a bit of a hair cutting accident. Then we have Daniela. She's also joining us today. She's coming for the after lunch. And then we have Alberto, who's currently living in Georgia, USA. So he won't be joining us here other than maybe in live stream. And then you might be asking, what is arbitration board? Or I will use the acronym AB from this sentence onwards. So here's a brief little overview, as ESN has a lot of structures. Next slide, please. Right, maybe the MB already covered slightly. This is a very simplified little formula. So we have, in the upper left corner, we have national board. They're the executive body. You could say, in a form of country governance, they would be the president or the government. Then we have on the upper right corner, arbitration board. We're a so-called judicial body. If we talk about countries, we would be similar to courts or judges, except we don't have that much power as they do. And then the basis of everything is you all, or sections, or the National Assembly. That is the legislative body of ESN. So similar to the people or citizens or the parliament of many countries. So briefly, we're the judicial body of ESN Finland. Next. And what we do quite a lot of things, but it's mainly surrounded by what I just explained. So reviewing legality of certain decisions, interpreting our official documents. So if there's disputes with statutes of ESN Finland, we can be asked to help with that, to solve them. Then our name, arbitration, means arbitrating or mediating disputes. So if you have any issues, interpersonal issues, we can help mediating those. And then the code of conduct that we just presented, we also investigate the code of conduct violations. So if you submit through the website a code of conduct violation report, we will be taking a look into it and doing proper actions based on it. But mainly we don't decide, we make recommendations, except when it comes to code of conduct, we also have some decision-making leeway there as well. And yes, then contact channels for us. You can send us an email, either the full form, arbitration.board@esnfinland.eu, or just ab@esnfinland.eu. We're also on Telegram by our names. No one uses Slack, I think, nowadays, but ESN Finland does have a Slack, and we're on it. And we're by the handle AB2324. Actually, I think we're probably the only ones in whole of ESN Finland who use Slack, but we like it quite a lot, so we're still stuck there. But if you find your way there, then we're there. And of course, if you go to the website, I'm sorry, the link is actually, I just checked now that the link is not valid, but if you go to the website, there's a big red button saying code of conduct, so you can submit a report always via there. And I believe that's it. Oh, the update, sorry.
Oh.
Yes. I almost forgot. We do this presentation every National Assembly because we have to say what we've been doing. So since the spring National Assembly, this is our updates. Usually the numbers every NA have been 0, so this is one of the very first NAs where we actually have been very, very busy since the last NA. The number we don't keep track of is how many unofficial consultations or requests we get, and we get a lot of them. So someone might be asking something, oh, how does it work with, we just had a meeting and this was an issue. We just reply and it's very quick. But then we've had 5 code of conduct violations reported. Those were also the 5 first ones during our entire mandate. So they piled up to the last half a year, quite a lot.
You had 1 minute.
Okay, not all of them were processed. Then we had 3 cases of mediation where we arranged meetings to mediate disputes. 1 official interpretation request. I think it was by the national board, but not entirely sure. Our mandate ends at the end of this year, so there will be elections in this NA to elect the next arbitration board. And 1 more slide I have. So we're here for you. If you want, you can also approach us unofficially. But if you want very official proceeding, you should send us an email. That would be the best case. And we also keep record of how many of these official proceedings we've done. The unofficial ones, we don't really keep any kind of record. They will be forgotten after a while. Code of conduct, if you're unsure, you can always approach us also informally or just tap from the shoulder and we'll be there. But if you need any official proceeding, use the code of conduct report form on the website. And we delete always the code of conduct records after they've been processed, so there will be no permanent record of anything to keep up with confidentiality. And that would be it. Thank you.
So now the speakers list is open. If you have any questions, you can write it there, and if you can't, just raise your hand and I will write it.
It's just really hard to write down questions so people don't ask.
So I did a good thing. They won't ask.
They can still raise their hand. You can still raise your hand.
You can also announce in the announcements that Eliane is available for contact report. Contact.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, at some point.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
You can write it also. Anyone signing up for the speakers list? You can raise your hand if anybody is signing up for the speaker list.
I said that.
Okay. So I close the speakers list with Barbu as the only speaker. Barbu, please, you can ask the question.
Yes, my question is, how do you go about enforcing the code of conduct if you need to, like if it's a critical situation?
If it's a what situation?
You said that you can enforce the code of conduct if it's a really bad situation.
Yeah.
The question is, how do you go about enforcing it?
Okay, well, the process was, yeah, so the question about how to enforce the code of conduct, we don't proactively, again, go around and observe that, this person did this or that. So it comes from the person themselves if they feel that they, well, it comes always from the person themselves. Either you contact us directly or submit the form. Of course, like any other participant, if we notice something fishy, we might want to ask if this is okay or something should be done. The actual enforcement, once you submit a report, we go through it within the arbitration board. We set up usually a meeting with the person who submitted the report to discuss it further, and then we set up, with the permission of the person, we might set up meetings with the other people involved or witnesses if needed. And the actual enforcements in the Code of Conduct document itself, there's a list of possible consequences based on the type of violation and how severe it has been, how intentional, if this person has been acting problematically before as well, and such. For instance, one of the possible consequences can be that the person is sanctioned from attending the ESN Finland's events or for time period, or some other things. I don't remember exactly the full list of consequences, but they could be anything that within ESN Finland's scope would be possibilities.
Thank you so much, Tony, for your wonderful presentation. So next we have the National Coordinator updates. You can come.
That's not the updated. Oh. Can you go next? Okay.
Just a reminder, when somebody is speaking, please respect them. Even if it's answering a question, please try not to speak because we cannot hear what they're saying, and it's also going to be troublesome for our vice chair to write down the minutes. You may start.
All right. Click on first.
Who's starting? What is happening?
Well, I guess that's just
I can give the introduction.
Sure, thank you.
The previous page?
There's no previous.
Next. Oh, okay, next. Okay, so this is the full board of national coordinators that's working with us. It is in Finland. So who's not here is Teresa, our national training coordinator, and
She's coming later, by the way.
Yeah, and Sahid, our IT coordinator, who's working closely with Maxim, and who else? Alexi Ankron. He's liaison for European universities. This is a new position among another. These people are working with us to help, because we have so many projects. They're really interesting, and it would be support for the local sections. And let's hear them out. What do they have in mind for this year?
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm the National Education Officer, and what I do is about as follows. Russia. Thank you. So education basically means mostly advocacy on a national level. So what I try to do is have dialogue with key stakeholders, somewhat represent, not fully with the word, yes, in Finland, be an active part of the education community internationally. So I attended with Dana, like we said, the education community meeting in Brussels earlier last month? Months go by really quick.
Yeah.
I'm going to be attending some stakeholder events, so if we have such as the Student National Youth Council or their general meetings, different like student union meetings or educational conferences, etc. I will be attending those as well, and working pretty close with Dana and as well as Alexi on goals of ESN Finland in the educational area, because also education and university initiative are fairly linked together with the alliances. My specific goals for this year are kind of plentiful, but I want to deepen the communication with the national agency, so POPEHO, the national student unions, SAMOK, SUD, as well as the youth council, Allianssi. We have some prior communications with these and a relationship, but so far those have been only like one contact, maybe 2 contacts a year, and that's kind of it. So I want to entrench those relationships. I really want to support every local section in their work for advocacy. I know it's not really done a whole lot, it's not concentrated on in the ESN, unfortunately, so I would like to try and work on this and help you do this. And hence, tomorrow I have a workshop on this, so if you're interested, please do come. And to do this also, I want to have a status check on what each section does and how we can kind of improve things. I'm also trying to establish a library of knowledge regarding all things education, advocacy, and all this kinds of stuff. List of alliances, list of stakeholders, MEPs, parliament members, everyone who kind of could help us in this area. And kind of a pipeline goal, long dream, is to lay a foundation for a secretariat, so actual employees within ESN Finland, kind of more so doing that through like projects. So maybe trying to get some project funding for us, project workers, and then eventually work our way to some kind of secretariat. But that's kind of multi-year goal. That's about me. Thanks.
Sorry to interrupt. Can you come to like switching place so you can be present on the social media?
So hi everyone, my name's Anumita Goswami, but you can call me Anu. It means actually in Sanskrit nuclear, so you can call me your Mita means friend, so basically nuclear explosion friend or nuclear friend or whatever suits your imagination. I'm a doctoral researcher at University of Tampere. I have a 2-year funding with Finnish Cultural Foundation, so when Tana asked that whether I would be interested in this, applying for this coordinate, I said, yeah, my plate is kind of full, let me add another bit of curry to it. So, yeah, some people might find it problematic that I use a curry reference, but I don't care. Trust me, I have reached that age where I have gone through everything more or less, and I'm like, I'm just here doing my job, and I'll not disturb you until you disturb me. So that's my mode of life. So yeah, basically, so what, as of now, the main thing that I am planning to do is to connect, because as you know, Finland is a small country, but it's really large, and some places in this country are very connected with each other. So if, as a cultural coordinator position, I was thinking of connecting similar events with the other sections, if possible, and giving the main reason for having this exchange program and ESN structure was to have cultural exchanges between different countries in Europe itself, so that we don't end up in Second World War situation. So basically for that, so I was thinking to give a full cultural exchange experience to students, and I myself being an exchange student, so I know what exchange students go through. So coming from that perspective. So right now the main reason I came to the NA is to get to know the events coordinators of various sections, so that if at least in southern Finland, if we can organize, southern and central Finland, if we can organize events together in such as like there are 5 different, for example, there are 5 different sections in University of Helsinki who each organize their own Frontier Factory events or going to Suomenlinna. So if we can have other sections from Central Finland and others to join into their things, something like that. And also, I know some sections, at least ESN Finns does that. They visit some cities sometimes, and we can do it much more closely together with this. I know I'm speaking fast, but that's how I speak, so that's me. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Isabella. I'm the National Health and Wellbeing Coordinator now. I put this picture there because I'm a dance student as well in Kuopio, and currently active on national and international level. If you have any questions about that, like, we can talk later, but I think I'll use the time for the next slide now. Yes, so I've been previously social inclusion coordinator, and now I'm health and wellbeing coordinator, and a lot of things came up during my last mandate as well, and I kind of, I'm a physiotherapist, so I have more experience in health and well-being, background from there, and I decided to focus on 2 things for this mandate, because it was unrealistic for me to focus on more. But basically what I am planning to do is to work closely with the event manager about the international Erasmus Games and also the national Erasmus Games possibly. It's more about setting foundations, looking how things go, because we haven't had that in Finland yet, so we're gonna have to start on it and be in meetings and also get you guys involved. So if you have any questions, there will be emails about it soon, I think, and we hope we can organize something and have a great event in the end. And another very, very important topic for me is to create some kind of campaign, mostly about safe space. As you have heard before from Tony, that there have been reports, and it was a very active kind of year and semester. So I think there's definitely a need for that in ESN Finland, and I would love to encourage you to help me figure out what exactly is needed from the sections. I'm here for you. I would also like to emphasize that I can come to a section, I can visit, I can give a workshop. I can, if you have the feeling okay, maybe we don't have a problem, but we're overloaded, we're overworked, I can come and I can help you out and see what structural changes we could do, for example, in your section. And if you just want to have a workshop where you can relax a little bit and give something back to your board members, I can come and do that. So please feel free to approach me about it. I've tried this with my previous mandate, but nobody came. So I really want to emphasize this right now. You can reach out to me and you can ask, and I'll be happy to come. But for the campaign, I'd like for you to scan the QR codes. They're all around here as well. It's this bigger QR code. I've created a form where there are some topics that could be covered in a campaign. Very important that will be covered as well is, for example, safe space within ESN Finland and how we can do that, and code of conduct, since we've been updating it recently, as you've heard. But there are multiple other topics, and I would like to get your input on what you would like to see there. So please scan the QR code and vote what is important for you and your section. I would like this QR code, I will only have it during this event basically, because afterwards I would like to close it and already start kind of structuring and focusing on some of the topics. Okay? Yes. But basically what is important is the cooperation with the other board members and coordinators about this, especially with the campaign. I'm trying to create a working group on that, because it's not possible for me to do it on my own, and it's important to get input from others. So please approach me anytime if you have anything you want to add to that. Thank you.
So my name is Sophia. I'm the social inclusion coordinator. And before I start, I'd like to ask which section has a social safety, social inclusion coordinator, national. One? Just one? Oh my god, and that person is me. So that's quite scary, and I would like to I'd like to help in that. But for you to know a little bit more about me, I'm a safety and social inclusion manager in ESN Uni Helsinki. I'm from Portugal. I did Erasmus in Ljubljana, Slovenia, and I love winter and Posankka. Posankka is like the egg tarts from Portugal, and they are just amazing. Yeah. So what I really want to do as a national coordinator is like provide support for the local sections. I saw it. Any of you has like a safety social inclusion manager in your section, and that's really important because when you think like in a space, we think like a safety space for your students. When you want to provide like an event, you want to provide them a space they can go and they can feel included and safety. So it's really important you have someone to hold that space and to make sure that space and all that rules are able and safety for all your students. With this, I would like to give with some evaluation and feedback, like to support you to see if everything is going like fluently and without any problem. I would like to give all the research and support you need, especially because I saw you don't have like a social inclusion coordinator, so let's work on that and try to find someone. I know sometimes might be a little bit hard to find a person to that position, especially the small sections when don't have so many volunteers. But think in something really important and something it should be like your priority, because your priority should be like the safety and the inclusion of all the students. I would like to collaborate with other organizations. That way I can give more support to myself to provide you. For example, with other coordinators for education or health team, for example, training to provide some workshops and trainings. And honest campaigns. We're gonna have like the SEED is the Social Inclusion Days. I will send really soon an email with all the information. I attended the pre-meeting a few days ago, and that might be like a really good start for you. Start creating like the safety inclusion person in your sections. And that's it. I'm done. Okay. Oh, sorry. This is a QR code, and don't worry, I can send the link after to the general chat, but this is like the group where we can talk about social inclusion, and that's the way I would like to support you, like more directly, and please feel free to reach me for anything.
Okay, so hi guys, I'm Vishwa, the partnerships coordinator, and I'm also doing events at ESN Metropolia. So I'm going to try to keep this short as I think we're pressed for time. So when I look at partners, so I look at in three ways that it tries to benefit ESN Finland, our local ESN sections, and mainly our exchange and our students. So looking at this, we already have some really good partners with DNA, Time Travels, Flixbus, and Ryan. Oh, this is the old one.
Really?
It didn't update. Yeah.
Do you want me to put the new one?
Yeah, could you?
This is the one I put at 9:30.
Yes.
Can you improvise?
Okay, I'll just improvise, yeah. And some future partners which I was thinking of. So we have, I'm sure most of the ESN sections over here, we organize a lot of parties. And that would be really cool if we could get NOHO, because they have clubs, nightclubs throughout Finland. And in Helsinki, we already have them, or like a company under them as our partners, with which we do a party each semester with them. So that's something that's really cool. I had removed the second one, so that's okay. I was also looking at our grocery stores, and in Finland we have S&K markets, which are really famous. And if we could get them as a sponsor, maybe they give us a very, I don't think they would give us a discount, but we could just promote them to our exchange students who are new, and they could probably sponsor ESN Finland, and they can just distribute the money from there. Patch culture is a big thing in Finland, so all of us order patches, and it would be nice if we could get a patch company to sponsor us, and we could get cheaper prices, better patches, and we could also get commissions with that for ESN Finland to give back to us at some point. I also had few things which are not on this slide. I had Bird, which is an e-scooter, which I saw other ESN sections in Europe, they have e-bikes, and as hanging out a lot with exchange students, I can tell you that they use these e-scooters very often. So it would be very nice if we could get sponsored by them. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much to all the national coordinators, and the speakers list is open. If you can't write it there, you can raise your hand now and I can write your name, section and question. Please don't be afraid to ask questions.
We really encourage you to ask questions or even give comments, suggestions, anything.
Yeah, I would really like some suggestions. I might appear menacing, but I'm a softie. So.
Exactly. And if you don't have like a social inclusion in your section because something is happening, and I really want to help with that, so please ask me how I can help you.
I am happy to just stand here and look pretty as well.
Is anyone writing a question?
I have a question, actually.
Yes.
So I see Panos from Uni Helsinki and Anu. After Panos and Anu, are there any more questions? So Sai, Roberto, Panos, Anu. Any more questions? Okay, no more questions. Then I close the speakers list, and Sai, you can ask your question.
Sorry, can you stand up and speak up a little bit?
Please stand, state your name and section, and ask your question.
So, Isabella, I think you mentioned that you would help in restructuring the whole board if necessary. Is that what you meant?
Well, not restructuring the whole board, but like if you have, for example, a problem with like work distribution, like some people are overworked, which I know happens quite a lot sometimes. Like we can find ways to work on that, to figure it out. It's not going to be like, you know, an immediate change. It's never like that. It doesn't work like that. But we can find like solutions and like procedures to work towards a better work distribution, and like HR, like motivational strategies, HR strategies to get like new members, for example.
Do you come to our section and do that?
You cannot ask a question after a question. You can give a reaction or you can come back to the speakers list. I'm sorry, it's just how the procedure works. Do you want to ask another question, Sai?
Yeah.
You can ask it after Anu in the end. I'm sorry, but you can. Yes, Roberto.
Roberto is Uni Turku. My question is for Sofia. So we've been working in Uni Turku to create a code of conduct, our own. We inspired ourselves in Finland code of conduct, and we have introduced it this past semester. And we've worked on having like some officers or some board people to control this code of conduct, or like if we have any reports, they will be responsible to handle everything. But we haven't had much motivated people to do this job. So how would you recruit people or make them more motivated to be responsible?
Okay, so actually it's quite interesting when we talk about motivation because it's the volunteer work, right? So you really need to have a motivation, and I think you get motivation when you understand how important it is. Like, it's really important to do this. So I think if you can understand the importance to have like a safety person to your event, you're gonna understand. You're gonna get the motivation to be that kind of person, to be there and to provide the support to all the students. So sometimes we can do some workshops to try to understand like the importance you have for that. But I think it should be your motivation or the motivation you should give to someone to do that. but I think it comes from you understand the importance that position has.
Yes, reaction from.
Including like make it more visible. If no one knows about it, no one's interested in it. So the more visible it is, the more happy it is.
Isabella, reaction?
Yeah, just a quick reaction to that is that like make it more visible, like raise awareness that there is issues, like you need a safety person. It's a very like common thing and like it's very important. Yeah.
Do you have a reaction?
Yes, I do. Another thing of the easiest way to incentivize a person to do something like this is just say that it would make a very good CV addition. At the end of the day, let's just face it, we are doing volunteering work at the end of the day to boost our CVs. Let's just be very real about it.
Yeah. Just before this reaction, Vatsal, yes, you didn't answer me when I asked if the speakers list is closed, and we only have 1 more minute for the questions, and we have 3 more questions. You can personally come and talk to them, and yeah, the coffee break is going to be there soon. Roberto, what's your reaction?
Just thanks for all your advice, and our problem is just like usually we need these people to, for example, be at parties and make sure that nothing's going on, and that requires a lot of time, and some people are not willing to spend that much time in work. But we'll try. So yeah, thank you.
We can talk later, and we can try to find a solution.
Okay, Panos. Yes.
Panos, because recently the national has many communities that they work on specific causes, for example, social inclusion, country well-being, and blah, blah, blah. So the question is mainly for Alex, Anu, and Isabella, from the coordinators. So like, there are many international communities like that they focus on your specific causes. So how did you join the network, like these international communities, or like this project that is an international has based on your causes? And if yes, what is your plan to? How do you plan to transmit the knowledge that comes from Mission International to the section?
Who wants to answer?
I can start. So, committees and communities, I am taking an active part in the communities. At least, like we have monthly meetings, and I try to listen to what happens in other sections and in other like national organizations, and then kind of get the best practices and try to like involve them here as well. We are kind of building the position more so. As for communities, I personally have not joined ICE, so the International Committee for Education. I've looked into it. Personally, like Anna said as well, I also have my plate quite full, and the work there is more so on specific projects that personally I don't think are quite yet important for Finland. I know that they're internationally important, but for us locally, it's not spending my time the most efficiently.
Do you need answers from everyone?
No, just like.
Yes, I think Isabella, you can answer, and then we go to the next question because we're out of time.
Yes. So I'm in the chairing team of the network committee. So that's basically like how I'm involved in the international level, and I am planning to join the HR calls, HRN, and I haven't had time as well yet to join them, but I'm planning to. And for example, as I presented, I want to have this like campaign. So that's basically the main way I think this mandate, how I want to bring those like informative and educational parts to the sections. Otherwise, as I said, like please approach us. I think we're all happy to help and to like give you the information that you need. But we also know that you get a lot of emails. So when I sent an email as my coordinator position, it gets lost for so many sections. I'm still doing it, but it gets lost. And I know that. So please, we're here for you to help. Please approach us as well.
So for the next question, I give 20 seconds to ask the question and 30 seconds to answer. I'm sorry, it's just we are out of time. So Anu, what's your question?
So this is a question for specifically for Sophia, not Yeah. So the thing is that one of the best aspects of social inclusion is through culture. Yes. So do you have any ideas or plans that you have in mind? It's from my perspective. I'm being selfish, but yeah. But do you have anything in mind that would like better focus where we can work together and better help them out?
Of course, yes. It's going to be really fast, and we can talk a little bit later about that. We are talking about Erasmus, so we are talking about different cultures, different internationals, people, like different countries. So yes, when we talk about inclusion, we should include everyone, and we can always provide more events to put that. Oh my God, it's too pressure to put all that community together and trying to introduce and include everyone and make that space safety for everyone. Doesn't mean like the race, reaction, or okay.
Okay, you can discuss it after. I'm sorry, but we don't have time. So guys, please, everyone, this is why it's important to write your question and be very precise, because when we lack time, you will have to stay here more, and I don't want that. And now I will close the speakers list, and Sai, since you had another question, you can ask them later. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. And now I invite Yannick from the president of the previous mandate of the National Board to kind of give us a quick review about the activity report, I would say. And if you want to find the documents, I have a QR code right here. If you want to go through them, feel free. This is basically okay, I'll let Yannick talk about it.
Oh, I have to stand it. So everyone can see me online as well. Hello. Hello, beautiful people. Yes.
So this is a presentation, but the actual voting will take place tomorrow.
Yes.
Pay attention, because we will need to vote on this presentation tomorrow.
I put it the activity report.
Okay.
If you want to go.
No, it's okay. The QR is fine. People should be able to find this document in the drive, and I'll try and be quick and concise because we're already over time, and nobody likes listening to long presentations in a lecture hall like this for a long time. So let's try and get this over with. Hi, I'm Yannick. I'm the previous national president of ESN Finland. And basically, the documents that I will talk about right now are on the release of liability of the last board, which means it's an activity report and it's a financial report, as well as a audit opinion on both those documents, which basically means that those documents you should review to then make a decision whether or not the previous board should be released of liability. So I'll quickly walk through this activity report. Our last national board started with 3 official members and 2 interim members, but then quickly other people joined basically. In the end, I was president, Teresa was our vice president, Onni was our treasurer for most of the time, Yassit was our events manager at the end of the mandate, Daria was national representative for the time that position still existed, and then Prashani joined us as WPA, and Tana joined us as communications manager. Our board was supported by different national coordinators like the ones that have spoken to you today, people in the same positions or previous positions, like a training coordinator, social inclusion coordinator, education officer, health and well-being coordinator. In terms of network updates, we supported our youngest section, ESN Lahti, through the process of becoming a candidate section and then becoming a full section. And also Teresa put a lot of work in setting up the local community meetings, basically the system in which all local presidents are in one community, all local treasurers are in one community, and that way they can support each other and help each other out. Then a little bit about POPs. We had some challenges with POPs. For example, the last edition of POPs had to be rescheduled 2 weeks before the event, and yet it still happened, surprisingly. So I would say that both editions of POPs were a success. In fact, financially they were too successful. According to our budget, we made too much money on them in a way. So that's something that has been taken into account in ticket prices for the upcoming edition. Then that nicely moves us on to the financial situation of ESN Finland, which was good. As always, the main sources of our income were time travels, partnership, and POPs. And we didn't, let's say, expand any partnerships. Actually, we renewed the partnership with time travels and we changed some of the conditions there, made it more attractive for our sections, let's say. But we didn't find any new partners in this time frame, though we did keep all the partners we already had. Then the national board, as well as our delegates from the local level, attended NEP, general assemblies, EGM, community meetings, national board training, and other events. And then on the topic of national or international events, something else that is good to share is that we actually organized an event called Beyond Bias jointly with ESN Latvia, for which we got a grant from the Latvian Youth Council, and it was an event organized in Riga with the purpose of providing additional training. Then related to training as well, our Educate pool of trainers grew by 2 volunteers who participated in the Educate facilitation crash course. And then very quickly, attached to the financial documents, there is a release of liability statement by Maxim, who is the auditor for last year's board. And he has concluded that the financial reports are accurate and reflect the financial position of the organization. And also he's concluded that the operations were in compliance with the laws and applicable statutes of ESN Finland, and therefore he is recommending that our last national board is released of liability tomorrow. That's my presentation.
So the speakers list is open if you have any questions, and if you can't, please raise your hand. Next is the coffee break, so I will give you 15 to 20 seconds to ask your question. And I will expect a 30-second answer.
Yes, that's perfectly fine.
Anybody signing up for speakers list?
I may have a comment.
Okay.
Question.
So nobody is signing up for the speakers list, I guess? No one? Okay, I close the speakers list, and Tana, you can make your comment.
I would request Yannick to explain a little bit to the name why it's important to be curious and pay attention to this. Like, elaborate on that.
Okay, so basically this release of liability has to do with the fact that as board you are liable for the operations and basically anything the organization does. And so currently, if anything was significantly wrong with what happened last year or the operations we had, the financial situation, it's easier to hold us personally liable for that than it will be after this release of liability, because basically you'll be confirming tomorrow, assuming you vote in favor of it, that you agree that we followed all the rules and that we did our job correctly. And so you should be critical, ask questions, because after that point it will be more difficult to say, well, we didn't know that the rules weren't being followed, basically, because you got the opportunity to check that and voted that it was okay.
Okay. All right, thank you guys. You have 10-minute coffee break starting now. So it's 10:37. I'll see you exactly at 10:47. Please, 1 second. We have some information from the OC.
Yeah, guys, can you wait just a moment? Just a moment. So about the coffee break, we have the table right there. So everybody, please go through that door so we can smoothly have everyone go through, because there's no space for 2 ways. So everybody goes like that way, and you come out this door, so it goes smoothly. Okay. And there's dietary restrictions. They are marked there. But if you have any questions, you can ask Natalia there. And then
One second.
Guys, please.
1 second.
Patience, tiny second. I know you need your coffee, but just a second.
So a little update from the social program. There's some envelopes there. I know some people have wondered what that is. They're called sugar cubes. So everybody has their name written there. And I'm going to put some little papers like that on the back. So you can write little notes to people and put them in the envelope. And at the end of the event, you can take your envelope home and you can read your wonderful notes that people have put inside. Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah.
I see you at 10:47 here exactly.
Also, if you have chances to trade, you can trade them during coffee breaks, lunch breaks.
Oh yeah, if you have your own cup, please.
Yes, oh my god, give me, I have like a million things open. But you can, wait, hold on, let me just close this. Sorry, there was like a gazillion of them.
Oh my god, I need to slow down. Okay. Oh yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you can put it. Yes. Let's see if this tag is gonna. I actually would want to use that. afterwards?
Yeah.
It was okay, right?
Yeah.
Everything was good.
I put this. I'm an IT person.
Chana, everything is good?
Yeah.
So far, so good? Okay.
Are you alright? Feeling better?
Yeah.
You're doing a very good job. Just saying.
I feel like I don't even know what I'm doing, but it's okay.
You seem like you have a time to also almost go.
I used to continue with Google.
But we need the complete answers here. What's happening?
I mean, I should set it public first, then maybe you can access it.
Yeah. That was kind of crazy. It's good we had a coffee break. I feel fine Yeah. Just needed to.
You're doing great. You're keeping time. I'm really grateful for that.
Just trying to take it 1 minute at a time.
Speak louder and just let that tension out of you, you know.
I think I'm fine now because I spoke a little loud. I got into the mood of giving orders.
Yep, that's the point.
I might just need that one printed out. But I mean, today I usually send it to
waiting.
Can I move the cross because I can't see people over there? So it's a bit...
How do you call the thing that you vote on now? Like the release of liability?
Yeah, release of liability. I moved it a little bit because otherwise I can't see the people over there. So I moved a little bit forward, but it's still on the camera.
You see the professional
Amazing.
TV show entertainment.
Yes, after the after like I'm going to the pharmacy after it. If you need anything, let me know.
I don't care. We are literally fucking 10 minutes over here.
I always love it for the
It's fine. I'll break the lunch. I'll cut it off by 10 minutes.
Also, there was a suggestion to cut a coffee break.
No, you guys will like. No, that's a bad idea.
Let's start.
Okay, so we are going to start this session, but we are going to have lunch also here basically. So I'm going to cut 10 minutes off the lunch break. You had 1 hour, now you have 15 minutes, just because I don't want to keep you till 6 p.m. And we took 10 extra minutes for the coffee break, and I saw the line, it's fine. But let's continue. So the next presentation is also going to be from Yannick, and it's about the general funds guidelines, and he's going to talk to you a little bit about it. Yannick, the floor is yours. And
amazing. I'll try and be quick so we can get the 10 minutes for lunch back. Can you open the PDF actually?
Oh,
Yes. Oh no, yeah, the PDF.
it's not this. Give me a minute.
Because it has the comments in it, and I'll just go through those. As with
I
the
have
other.
this.
Ah, perfect. So that looks different from what I thought it should look like. This is the Word document, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you open the PDF instead?
Yes, I can try.
So, quick background to this. I'm proposing changes to the General Fund guidelines. If you don't know, the General Fund is a funding structure that we have in ESN Finland. It's basically a bank account that's not in use by the national board, but instead that you as local section volunteers or that national volunteers can apply to in case there are no other sources of funding available. And so the idea is that it's filled with money from, for example, the DNA partnership, and you as sections can apply to it to do things that otherwise you wouldn't be able to do. I've proposed certain changes to this. A lot of things are just like wording changes, but the most important change is that the current system asks for grading. So basically the national board, or in case it's a national level application, has to vote or write down how many points a person gets for an application, and then you get reimbursed a percentage of the amount you applied for, between 8 and 100%. And that approach means that someone who basically writes a pretty good application still doesn't know if they will get 50% back, or 70%, or 100%. And also it puts the national board in a really difficult position, because it means that they have to choose, for you, what they think the percentage should be. And because of that, in practice, I think all applications that were accepted have gotten the full reimbursement percentage since these national guidelines were accepted 3 NAs ago. So instead of keeping this point system, I'm proposing that we change it to a system where it's simply pass-fail. So if you apply for this fund, either you get your money back or you don't. And if you don't get your money back, then the same criteria will be used as before. So basically, if there's reason that the National Board would decline your application, you will get the points which you didn't meet in the general fund guidelines, which haven't changed. Something else is that it used to be, how do you say this? Okay, yeah, so something else that I changed is that currently the National Board can't vote on applications of national coordinators or other national level positions. And the idea, of course, is that is to prevent conflict of interest, but this means that for a national coordinator that's applying, or for other national volunteers, that it takes a very long time for them to get their money back because the National Board needs to convene like assembly of local representatives, which then takes a long time and it's not very efficient, and it doesn't really matter, in my opinion, because a national coordinator doesn't get to vote themselves anyway, so the National Board shouldn't have a conflict of interest in voting on the application to begin with. So I changed that so that only National Board applications need this external confirmation from a committee of local treasurers or local presidents, which are then based on the local community meetings. Yeah, I don't understand what this line means, so I just removed it. The applicant is responsible for following the procedure of applying and getting reimbursed. Anyway, otherwise I split up the next thing. So basically it defines what you can apply for, and since there's now 3 different systems, there's local level volunteers, there's national level volunteers who are not National Board members, and then there's national level volunteers who are National Board members. And the documents would vary slightly based on what it is. I also better defined what the structures could be. For example, NEFCO could be included, COMFI could be included. And I wrote here that if a structure is not mentioned, a volunteer from there can still apply, and it's up to the National Board's judgment whether or not the application should be considered. Then let's continue. Yeah, that's this line. Let's continue. Yeah, so there's some wording changes. Let's continue. Yeah, okay, this is also important. So, currently, a national level volunteer can only get 80% of their application refunded, basically. So, I went to NEP, and I paid for that out of pocket, and there's no budget line for me to go there, and I get back 80% and not 100%. I don't understand this, to be completely honest, because why is it that because I'm a national level volunteer, who, I mean, arguably might put even more time into an organization than a local level volunteer, that I have to then pay 20% out of pocket? Whereas if I would be a local level volunteer, and I would do the same application with the same guidelines, I don't have to pay this 20%. So I don't think that this structure makes sense, and so I basically removed that, also in line with the fact that it's pass-fail, so either you get 100% or you get nothing. I added the line if requested by NB. So basically, there's a bunch of documents here that might be difficult for a local active member, for example, to get, like local board's budget. What else does it say? Financial statements from the local board, balance sheets. These are really only relevant to the National Board if they grade an application, if they question why the section doesn't have the resources themselves. So instead of making it a requirement for all applications, I propose to change this so that the National Board can request to get these documents, and if requested, they need to be provided. But by default, you would only need to fill the application form and attach your receipts, and nothing else. And similar changes have been made to the other documents if you scroll further. Here it's now split in between non-NB national level applications and NB national level applications. Basically, same thing. If the external body that would grade an NB application wants to see the national budget, they can get it. If they don't think they need it, then it won't need to be included. Something else is that if the NB is grading the application, there's no point for a national coordinator to include the national budget because the NB knows what the national budget is. It's their budget in the end. So the fact that that budget would need to be included with an application that I submit as national volunteer didn't make sense either, and I removed that. Let's continue. Then I changed the deadlines. So it used to be you can't apply for an event more than 30 days before the event is happening, which basically means, I got my spot for NEP 3 months before, I think. So yeah, I paid for it, and then it was 160 something euros that I paid for the participation fee and then my travel. So I have to wait for this period until 30 days before the event before I can get my money back. Again, that doesn't make it very attractive for our local volunteers to apply for this fund because, well, you know, you have to accept that you don't see that money for quite a while. So I extended that deadline to 90 days before the event and no later than 30 days after the event, so you can also apply after the fact. That was already there. Similarly, the decision-making period was changed too. So I don't really understand why the National Board needs 45 days to make a decision on an application, and I changed it to 14 days. I know that they might think this is a bit strict, but...
You're looking at me, I'm not writing this one.
But it's my proposal, so here we go. And something else that changed is that for project funding, you can actually apply 180 days before. So this would mostly be applicable to, let's say, you want to organize a big training event, and then, well, of course, you need to know more than 30 days before whether or not you get the funding. So in that case, you could apply 180 days before. And I added this line, if the decision is to be taken by a body outside the NB, so this would be a national board member applying, and therefore a committee needs to be put together that votes on this application. In that case, the deadline for the application is 30 days. The rest stay pretty much the same, so a section can apply twice a year, for example. That's all the same. Yeah. So here was written that the proof of active involvement and evaluation of the position-related contribution must be confirmed by the NB in the support letter. So if I'm a national level applicant, I need to get a letter from Dana saying that I've done my job as national level applicant for then Dana and the rest of the NB to vote on the same application. I don't think this makes sense because they're basically stating that I did my job and then giving me the money because I did my job. They wouldn't give me the money if I didn't do my job, right? So then there's another deadline change. So basically reimbursement has to be made within 2 weeks after the final decision has been made on them. Wait, not too quick. There was a request for scans of original boarding passes and tickets of the travel. That's not always relevant, so I removed that as a default requirement, but other fulfilling other requirements can be set by the NB if requested. So if the NB would want to see your boarding pass, they can request it when they accept the application. But it's not always relevant, so it shouldn't be a standard requirement. And I think that that's pretty much it. Oh, it's not. What do we have here? Oh, well, this is the grading itself. So basically, the bullet points are the same, there's just no grading for it. Either you pass or you fail. What else? Wait. This is stated that, this is a duplicate from before. Here it's stated that the 100% applies to the local board based on the point system, which doesn't exist anymore. 80% would now be 100% for everyone. Then there's this urgency entry, which doesn't really make sense anymore because a shorter deadline than 2 weeks is not realistic in any case, so that's not applicable. Let's move on. Yes, so this is one more important thing. Basically, what if you are a very nice volunteer who is very adamant about ESN, wants to attend an event, has great reasoning for it, but you don't have the financial resources to upfront pay 250 euros for it. This is a realistic scenario. And so in this proposal, basically, I say that if this is the case, then a person who's applying can ask for the national board to directly pay for the trip and for the participation fee out of the national board's account. And in this case, pictures of the event and copies of boarding passes should be provided to confirm that the applicants, that the person actually went to the event. But the idea is that this way, this structure is accessible no matter your financial situation. Then there's some info about appeals. So in case you want to appeal a decision as an applicant, you now get 14 days. I mean, if I think it's realistic for the national board to make a decision in 14 days, so should it be for us to appeal to that. Same deadline for everyone. And then I wrote that further information should be obtained from the national board and not the treasurer, because if there is no national treasurer, then the board would be the best address to use. I think that's it. Yeah. So that's my presentation on my amendment proposal for the National General Fund Guidelines, and I would be happy to answer any questions.
So the speakers list is open now. If you have any questions, you can ask, or if you can't write it there, you can please raise your hand. Also know that it's very important that you go through these documents and also listen to Yannick and ask him questions, because it's going to affect your sections, and we will be voting on this matter tomorrow. So please make sure you know, and if you didn't understand something, he will answer your questions. So yes, what's your name and section?
Laura Karelainen, ESN Lapland.
I've added your name and I will. Yes.
I'm Shujan from ESN Tampere.
You said Tampere?
Fit.
You said Fit. Isabella?
Isabella, something.
Anyone else? Anyone writing a question? Everything so clear with you? So after Isabella, I will close.
I have more than one question, maybe, depending on what was asked.
Okay, let's see. No more questions? Okay, so I close the speakers list. Elia, you have the floor to ask the question.
So Elia Dugu is in Finland. I have a question. So you added the fact that the general fund could cover funds before the actual event, and also like that it doesn't come out of the applicant's pocket money at first. Do you have a scenario in which the applicant doesn't end up going to the event?
Yes.
And how would you manage that if you were the end?
So first of all, it's technically already possible for an applicant to get reimbursed before the event, because the application can now be submitted 30 days before and can be accepted within that time frame and paid out before the event even happens. So technically, that's still the same. But if a person pays out of pocket, of course, it's more likely that they attend than if they were to apply because they don't have the financial situation to go themselves. Basically, my answer to this would be that it's more important to me that the structure is accessible to everyone than that it's important that we make sure 100% of this money ends up being used 100% successfully. So I think that if you are in a situation that you can't afford to go somewhere otherwise, it's not that likely that you would go out of your way to submit an application to then not attend. And that, I think, is just a risk that we should be willing to take. Because we shouldn't limit everyone because there's a risk that someone doesn't follow the rules, which in any case is possible, because I could submit an application right now, say I'm going somewhere, get it approved, not show up at all, get my money back, no one would know. In fact, I could invent my own event, make the receipts for it, pocket the money. Like, let's be honest, if people want to fuck up the system, they can.
Don't do that.
But don't do that.
Reaction? No? Yes? Okay.
It's a question, so I'm gonna wait.
Okay. Okay, Annette from ESN. Yeah.
So I have a question for just making sure. I am not sure how much legal knowledge you have, but have you checked that is it an actual legal requirement to have for example, the boarding passes provided?
It's not a legal requirement at all, actually. So these requirements are set in this document. They are a guiding document, so there is no legal requirement involved. This is not legislation written anywhere. This is what we are choosing to make the requirement. So, yeah.
You want?
So you have is it a legal requirement for you to provide them for bank statements?
It shouldn't be anymore, actually. It shouldn't be. Because
just making sure that you check, because at least in Laura it's a legal requirement.
it can be a requirement by your section that travel always has, or by your organizational structure that the section always has boarding passes on the travel. But I don't think that's a legal requirement for accounting purposes. As long as there's an invoice, which would be the travel receipt, not the boarding pass itself. But that's actually something that's a good question, but that would apply to all of ESN Finland's accounting, not just to this document. So.
Laura from
Yes.
ESN Lab.
This might be a bit of a dumb question, but if this guideline revision is accepted, how long will it take for it to the change to come into effect?
It would be instant.
Instant?
Yes.
Okay.
At the closing of the...
Yes.
Yeah.
Sujan, yes, and
And it's not a
Finn.
stupid question.
For going for a project, so whether I will get the reimbursement, yes or no, so it will be decided when I apply for this, like after paying for myself. So how do I know that will it be accepted? For example, I want to go for a project, but I want to go for the project if this will be reimbursed. So how do I know while this will be reimbursed, yes or no?
So basically, you can submit the application form with the information that would be applicable to it without the receipts. Get it processed by NB. It would be accepted or declined. If it's accepted, you could then choose to go there. Especially if you can submit it now 90 days before the event or project, there should be a possibility. You would then only get the reimbursement after you've also filled out the reimbursement form and attached all the receipts, of course. But yeah, you could get basically a consultation saying that yes, this is an accepted application on the basis of the information provided.
Isabella, yes, and Finn.
Yes, I wanted to ask after Ilya's question about the if you're paid beforehand, does the national board have means to request the money back if the participant didn't go? Is there any regulations on that?
So, if the participant didn't follow code of conduct, yes, is the answer. If the participant just straight up didn't go, well, it's not mentioned anywhere, which means that my personal opinion is that if the national board makes that decision, it should be followed. But we've seen previously that the arbitration board hasn't always agreed with that. So, I mean, my view on this is that if ESN Finland is paying for it and someone doesn't end up going, let's say that they're sick, then it's not realistic to get the money back, is it? That's just something that happens. So there's no way to check it anyway. But yeah, if there's strong suspicion that the person didn't go because they didn't want to anymore, seems like a case-specific scenario.
You had another question.
Yes, I actually have can there something like this, can it be added still to the document?
I thought about it, and you can of course propose an amendment to my amendment proposal. That's possible, but the problem with this that I see is that it complicates the process for everyone to take into account the 0.1%, and I just don't think that that's the way it should be done. Because basically our all general fund guidelines are extremely complicated because of this exact reason. Taking into account every single possible scenario that might exist where someone doesn't follow the rules or misinterprets it or misuses it. That's not the basis on which we want to write legislation, do we? Of course, there has to be some sort of safekeeping, but at the same time, we're talking about the scenario that someone goes out of their way to apply, is trusted enough by the national board that this application is accepted, and then ends up not going, not because they're sick, but because of some other reason. I mean, that's kind of what if, and I don't think that far out, it should affect everyone just to take into account this possibility.
Yes, Isabella. You
Okay.
have that really less
Yes.
time.
If it would be added to requested documents like proof of involvement, then I don't think it would affect everyone, because it would just be in case you have suspicions as national board, you can request that document.
Yeah. So first of all, in that case, I don't think the application should be accepted. But if the national board would choose to do so, this document already allows for separate requirements. So basically, it's just not a default requirement, but the national board can already say, we want pictures, we want some sort of certificate, we want a report. That's all already possible. It's just that the national board needs to make that decision, but it's possible.
Annette from ESN Laura Amco.
Oh, yeah,
She went. Okay, there is one question, but this came after the speakers list, and I'm going to allow it, but you have 10 seconds, and I will not allow it again, because when I ask you to close the speakers list, you can please raise your hand and tell me that you have a question. Alexandra from Hagahelia, what's your question?
Yes, my question is, do you have guidelines or a certain list of countries where you can advise staff and return money?
I'm not sure that I understand the question, but there's no restrictions basically. You can, of course, the national board can choose not to accept an application, always.
Yeah, for example, like the country has another currency, and when there's like cheaper things for our event, and is there any restrictions on that? We can still return that.
Yeah, no, any currency can be accepted, like in any other reimbursement. We're like already used to the fact that our accounting has to have multiple currencies in it. Because the national board travels to countries with different currencies as well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, I haven't.
No, it's great.
Okay. Thank you so much, Yannick. And now I invite Tana to have a presentation about the statutes and standing orders, and she's gonna start it.
Before we start, this session is really important because thank you so much. It involves every section legally. Well, do you know what statute and standing orders are? Anybody who doesn't know what they are? Okay, Roberto, thank you. Also, these documents are the things that you have, statutes is something that you have to register in PRH. I don't know the Finnish name, but it's something that has to do with the Finnish Association Register. So your association, to make it legal, you have to register in the PRH. And these documents kind of set a backbone of your, company, of your organization. And the standing orders is something that you kind of make rules and standard of practice for your association. So this is supposed to be like heavy stuff, but I'm trying to make it easy to consume. So we're going to do Kahoot to test your knowledge about association law of Finland. Okay, let's start. I'm giving you 2 minutes to get access to the game. Okay, let's do it. Can you click the QR code? Make it bigger. Yeah. Okay. 1.5 minutes left. Can we have audio? No?
Oh my god, we can't do Kahoot without the audio.
Yeah, exactly. You can put it here.
Maybe it's because the...
Yes. Interactive.
Can I put this in a minute? The NA's knowledge of association law is tested by Kahoot. Via Kahoot.
We have maximum capacity 14 people, but I'm not sure if this is going to allow me because this is my first session.
I'm not going to join them.
Okay, 30 seconds more.
Anyone else still joining?
Okay, we can start. Yeah, we can continue. We can continue.
But I want to do it too.
Okay, I'm gonna start.
Yes. Finnish Association Act quiz. Let's test your knowledge. What is the primary purpose of an association under the Finnish Associations Act? I give you a hint. Look it up on the association law. It's an English version. What is the primary purpose? Attain profit for its members, to realize a non-profit purpose, to engage in political activities, or to provide social services. 5 more seconds. To realize a non-profit purpose, obviously. Next over there. Idea! Next question. Who can found an association? Who can found an association? Only Finnish citizens? Only corporations? Only government entities? Or any natural person aged 15 or over? Any natural person aged 15 or over. Ooh. Okay, next. What must be included in the charter of an association?
charter of association is basically the documents, the association's financial plan, the rules of the association's logo, or the association's website. I gave you the answer already when I started the session. What must be included in the charter of an association? Woo! The rules of the association. Who is this? Who is this called? Okay, next.
I'm coming for you.
Double points. Can an association practice economic activities? No, never. Yes, without any restrictions. Yes, if it is economically insignificant, or only with government approval. A bit tricky? Double points, okay?
Elia, why are you playing?
Yes, if it is economically insignificant. Let me explain next. Okay. So let me explain. An association may only practice a trade or other economic activity that has been provided for in its rules, or that otherwise relates to the realization of the purpose of association, and that is deemed economically insignificant. This is stated in the Finnish law, so take a look. Next, who can be a member of association? Who can be a member of association? Only Finnish citizens, only corporations, only individuals over 18 years old, or private individuals, corporations, and foundations? It's really quick.
If you have to be 50,
Barbu! Who is responsible for keeping a list of the members of association? Who is responsible for keeping a list of association? Chairperson, treasurer, secretary, or executive committee, which is board members? Don't put it on secretary.
I love everything.
Next. How can a member resign from association? How can a member resign from association? Informing other member, informing the board meeting, or by writing, sending an email to association, or by not paying membership fee. How can a member resign from association? By informing the board in writing. Who's this Google? Okay, next is double points. Bonus, if a member does not resign by writing and has not been active for a while, can association kick them out? Yes or no? This is written in association law. Yes. Let me explain. So this is a clause between two sections. In expulsion procedure and voting rights of members stated that the rules, your rules, may contain a provision that a member who has failed to pay membership fee for a specified period of time may not use his or her voting right, and the meeting may deem that the member have resigned from association. So, we make the rules. Next, please. What is required for association to obtain rights and commitments? What is required for an association to obtain rights and commitments? It must be registered, it must have at least 100 members, it must have a bank account, or it must be approved by a municipality. What is required for an association to obtain rights and commitments? It must be registered. Okay, true or false question. 2 is the minimum number of members required for a board. To establish a board, 2 is the minimum number of members required for an executive committee. True or false? Is it 2 people? False. A lot of people got this wrong. An association shall have a board which shall consist of no less than 3 members. You need to have 3 members to have a board, okay?
At least then
At
your rules
least.
can say something else.
Next, who can sign the name of association? Who can sign the name of the association, meaning representing? Any member, only the chairperson, only the treasurer, or persons authorized by the executive committee? Who can sign the name?
I can't.
Yes. Any persons authorized by the board. Ooh, TTs, time travels. What happens if an association fails to pay its debts? What happens if an association fails to pay its debts? It is automatically dissolved, it must apply for bankruptcy, its members are personally liable, or it can continue operating as usual. Anybody, any association in this right now? Well, it must apply for bankruptcy.
But
What must be done if an association decides to officially dissolve? Dissolve means you're gonna shut down your association. What must be done? Sell all assets, inform all members via email, hold a final meeting, or notify the payout code. What must be done? I think this is like before. 2 more questions.
No.
Next, please. Chop, chop, chop. Who can contest a resolution of the association? Who can say no, we're not going to close the association? Any member of the public? Only the chairperson? Any member of the association? Or only the board? Any member of the association? Next. Double points. What must be done if association's rules are amended or authorized person is changed? What must be done if the rules are changed and authorized person names are changed? Notify all members, hold a special meeting, file an amendment notice, or publish the change in newspaper. File an amendment notice to where article.
In Switzerland, if you lose your ID, you have to put it in the
Next.
newspaper.
Last question. What is the role of an operations inspector? You heard this keyword before. To manage the association's daily activities, to inspect the finances and administration, to recruit new members, or to represent association in court. What is the role of an inspections inspector? To inspect the finances and administration. Okay. Good job, everybody. Let's see who's the winner. Alan.
Laura Mayer.
Babu. TT.
Who's TT?
Who's TT? Who's TT? Tony, of course. You're worth it. You're worth it. Okay, thank you.
That's
I mean,
reassuring.
I feel like no one is appreciating
Thank
the
you,
fact
Tony.
that
You can't miss that. Okay. So we have 3 minutes left for the question of this. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I have another thing. Mentimeter. Actually, sorry. This is another platform. This is. Let's go and take a look, revisiting your section statutes and standing orders. Let's see how well do you know your own rules. Let's see how well do you know your own documents. This is not something that we're going to go back and attack you later, but at least we would like to know. This is like half survey, half interactive session to see what is the problem that you are still miss this information or you need to know more. So 10 more seconds before we start.
I don't know how to start. What do you do? How do you start?
Me. On the phone. Yes, a lot of questions. Thank you. So, when does your section conduct association or general meetings? This is question not true or false. This is about you. Do you know when you organize the association or general meeting? Is it autumn or in spring?
What's happening?
You can do both. No, you can answer both.
Are we just agreeing?
Yeah.
Where? When?
Like
does
the-
our yeah. When does our association organize?
Yeah. This is January. I'm sorry, I missed which one. This is January. This is December. I understand you kind of have to discuss because you probably don't know. You're probably not sure. That's fine. Okay. Next question. In which meeting does your section usually organize election of board members? Is it autumn general meeting, spring general meeting, both, or I do not know? Okay, somebody doesn't know. That's fine. Somebody, some sections have both. Most of us are organizing autumn. The reason that I would like to, like, for example, asking these questions to understand, like, how are we going to get updated with the, the name of the board members in your section? Thank you. Okay. Sorry. Let's move on. What frustrates you the most about association rules, statute, and standing order? This is open-ended question. What frustrates you the most? Give me the answer. Or like, are you fine? You're happy with your statute and standing orders? You love it so much. It's perfect for me. You can give that. So we have answers. Financial reports are not available for members. They are weird. What are the rules? Too much bureaucracy. Okay, bureaucracy again. Everything. Confusing official language. I understand. I understand you. Pearho.
No.
We are not given any information on statute and standing orders. I'm not sure if it is updated. Obviously. Where can I find them? I don't know. Not always complying with association law. Thank you. Okay. I can access this later and go back to review with the national board. This is the problem that is existing in the section. Let's move on. Decisions of your association meeting are concluded by which type of voting system? Absolute majority or simple majority? Do you know the difference? Okay, the absolute majority is the decision has to be made by every member, whether they are present or not. Simple majority is the decision made by only the people who are present in that meeting. Okay, give me more. I'm looking at these numbers. Okay, so most of our sections are doing the simple majority. Okay. That's good. Okay.
I will ask if they have questions.
Yes.
If they don't, I will pass.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Tana.
Yes.
She'll stay again for the budget amendments. But is there anyone with questions? Please raise your hand now, or I will close the speakers list because we are kind of out of time. And it was a fun interactive session. So anybody who wants to be on the speakers list, please raise your hand now. Going once, twice, thrice. Okay, I close the speakers list and we move forward with the financial updates.
Thank you.
Sorry, the
Budget amendments.
budget amendments.
You have my presentation?
For the budget amendments, yes, I do.
Oh, yes, thank you. Yeah, so we're gonna be focusing a lot on the numbers and money, and Finland is responsible with a lot of money. So let's go start with the next slides. Let me show you that. Yes, Yannick? Oh yeah, thank you. External guest.
Oh, let's go.
Do they have those as well?
Yeah.
I have to cut the live stream.
Okay, yeah, you can go. It's okay.
Where do I remove it?
Can you see there with the mouse?
I can time it from here.
Okay. I mean, you can start it.